I always question the way things are. Maybe that has to do with my background in engineering and just like trying to figure out how things work. And I've always been like very curious in that sense. So whenever I go and do something, it's very much about like asking the questions why, like why is it this way or why is it that way? Why is it happening like that? And I remember like maybe one of the earliest instances was when I was working in Honduras. We were there working with the community designing and planning the water system. So it was more engineering than it was like doing the community work. But one of the things that like me and some of my friends that I was down there with noticed off the bat was we had been there before in a much poorer community that didn't even have water access. And then this community that we were in had water access and it seemed like they were better off in a sense. So one of the questions that kept bugging us was like, why did we get assigned to do this one when we know there's other villages out there that don't even have water? So that brought a lot of questions about like, so how do people decide like where does the sustainable development happen? Like where does the aid go? And it led to a lot of questions like where should even my place be? Where should I be helping? Because I know I have something to offer, but you obviously can't be in every single place at once doing these kinds of projects everywhere. And it kind of made me dive into like the ethics and the spirituality of it all and like trying to figure out for myself a lot of things along the lines of how development happens, but also how does that relate to you as a person and like where your place is and all that. And ever since then, it kind of just snowballed into me questioning like how everything happens. And I ended up doing this development practice program at Emory where I continued questioning a lot of things. Like we learn about how things are broken, how these kind of nonprofit industrial complexes take shape. And you ask, why does that happen? Like, why is it continuing to be perpetuated? Why is it not being fixed? And then it starts begging questions like, all right, well, if I know that this is what's happening, and I don't want to be a part of it, then what do I do? Like, what can I do even? So, in a sense, that contributes to like my own dharma and like figuring out what my karma is again, right? Like, it's very much this is what I know, and this is what I figured out for myself. And then that translates into figuring out what you can do, like where you can help. And I think being like a contrarian in that sense and always questioning things is just so powerful because it helps you figure out your own ethics and like how you want to be working in the world, where you want to be working in the world, and how your approach should be. I'm not saying like my approach is right, but at least I think that I'm okay with my approach in a sense, and it makes me comfortable versus conforming to someone else's interpretation and their ethics and going and doing the same work.